Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something very serious and very controversial in the world of WWE and professional wrestling as a whole. This is a topic that fans argue about all the time, and it involves some of the biggest names to ever step into a wrestling ring. Today we're discussing wrestlers who broke the rules, ignored the plan, and thought only about themselves. In wrestling, this behavior is known as going into business for yourself. Professional wrestling is built on trust. Every match you see on TV is planned ahead of time. The winners, the losers, the big moments, and even many of the moves are discussed before anyone steps through the curtain. Wrestlers trust each other with their bodies, their careers, and sometimes even their lives. When someone breaks that trust, it doesn't just affect one match. It can hurt other wrestlers, ruin storylines, damage locker room morale, and in some cases, change WWE history forever. Before we go any further, let's explain what going into business for yourself really means in simple terms. Wrestling is scripted. Matches are planned. Everyone involved knows what is supposed to happen. When a wrestler suddenly changes things without permission, refuses to follow the agreed plan, or does something that benefits only themselves at the expense of others, that wrestler is going into business for themselves. Sometimes it happens because of ego, sometimes it happens because of fear of losing status, and sometimes it happens because of personal issues or bad decision-making. No matter the reason, it is one of the most serious offenses in wrestling. One of the most famous examples of this behavior involves Hulk Hogan, one of the biggest stars in wrestling history. Hogan helped turn WWE into a global phenomenon, but with that power came a lot of control. Hogan was known for not liking to lose matches, especially during his prime. He often used his influence to change finishes and protect his image. A perfect example of this happened at WrestleMania 9. Bret Hart had just won the WWE Championship from Yokozuna in a hard-fought match. Moments later, Hogan came to the ring, challenged Yokozuna, and won the title himself in seconds. Many people backstage were furious because this moment took away from Bret Hart and felt rushed and unnecessary. Hogan's refusal to lose and constant need to stay on top cost other wrestlers major opportunities and created resentment that lasted for years. Another extremely talented but controversial figure was Shawn Michaels. There is no denying Shawn Michaels' in-ring ability. He's often called one of the greatest performers of all time. However, during the 1990s, his backstage behavior was widely criticized. Michaels was known for having a bad attitude, refusing to lose to certain wrestlers, and complaining about creative decisions. Some wrestlers accused him of overselling moves or intentionally making opponents look bad in the ring. Many felt that Shawn played politics to protect himself rather than doing what was best for the company. Even WWE Chairman Vince McMahon later admitted that Michaels was very difficult to work with during that period. Although Shawn eventually matured and changed, his earlier behavior damaged relationships and careers. One of the most complicated and infamous situations in wrestling history involves Bret Hart and a Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart was known as a professional who took wrestling seriously and believed deeply in respect and trust. However, at Survivor Series 1997 in Montreal, things fell apart. Bret was leaving WWE to WCW and refused to lose the WWE Championship in his home country of Canada. He did not trust WWE management to handle the situation properly. Bret wanted to leave WWE as champion, which went against traditional wrestling rules. Vince McMahon, fearing Bret might appear on WCW television with the WWE title, changed the finish without Bret's knowledge. The result was the Montreal Screwjob, a moment that shocked the wrestling world. While Vince's actions were controversial and unethical, Bret's refusal to follow the planned finish also played a role. Both sides put themselves first, and the consequences changed wrestling forever. Ultimate Warrior is another example of a wrestler whose backstage behavior hurt his career. Warrior had one of the most iconic looks and energies in wrestling history, and fans loved him. However, behind the scenes, he was extremely difficult to work with. He demanded extra money before matches, and sometimes refused to wrestle unless his demands were met. At SummerSlam 1991, he attempted to control the match and the finish, creating chaos backstage. Eventually, WWE had enough and fired him despite his popularity. Warrior's career suffered because he repeatedly chose personal demands over professionalism. Goldberg's rise in wrestling was incredibly fast, and with that came problems. Goldberg became famous for his undefeated streak, but many veteran wrestlers felt he lacked proper training and respect for wrestling traditions. Some accused him of working too stiff and not protecting his opponents in the ring. There were times when Goldberg ignored instructions and injured other wrestlers, which created anger and frustration backstage. While Goldberg became a huge star, his reputation among fellow wrestlers was damaged, and many relationships were never repaired. Brock Lesnar is known as a dominant force, but he has also gone into business for himself at times. At WrestleMania 20, Lesnar and Goldberg both knew they were leaving WWE. Instead of delivering an energetic performance, they gave very little effort and ignored the fans. The crowd reacted with loud boos, and the match became uncomfortable to watch. Later, in 2004, Brock refused creative ideas and suddenly walked out of WWE, leaving the company scrambling. Although he returned years later and achieved massive success, those moments hurt WWE and damaged his reputation at the time. CM Punk is a wrestler known for speaking his mind, but sometimes that honesty caused problems. In 2011, Punk delivered the famous Pipe Bomb promo, where he spoke about backstage issues live on television. While fans loved it, some of the content was not approved. Punk later refused to wrestle due to health issues and creative frustrations, eventually walking out of WWE in 2014. Many fans supported his decision, but WWE viewed it as unprofessional. Punk's actions showed how personal frustration can cross the line into going into business for yourself. Even legends like Stone Cold Steve Austin have made mistakes. In 2002, Austin was booked to lose to Brock Lesnar on free television. Austin believed this match should happen at a major event to maximize its impact. Instead of discussing it properly, Austin chose to walk out of WWE with no warning. Fans were shocked, and WWE was left scrambling to explain his absence. Years later, Austin admitted he handled the situation poorly and should have communicated better. New Jack is often remembered as one of the most dangerous wrestlers in history. He frequently ignored match plans and used real weapons without permission. He admitted openly that he went into business for himself many times and intentionally hurt people. Because of this behavior, WWE never trusted him, and his career was limited at the highest level. His actions serve as a clear example of how dangerous selfish behavior can be. Jeff Hardy is one of the most beloved wrestlers ever, but personal struggles caused serious problems. At Victory Road 2011, Jeff came to the ring in poor condition and was unable to wrestle properly. The match had to be ended quickly for safety reasons. This situation was dangerous, unprofessional, and disappointing for fans. Jeff's actions put himself and others at risk, leading to his release shortly afterward. Nia Jax also faced heavy criticism during her WWE run. Many wrestlers accused her of working unsafe and ignoring instructions. Several injuries occurred during her matches, including a high-profile injury to Becky Lynch. Whether intentional or not, many felt Nia prioritized herself over the safety of others, creating tension backstage and among fans. Sunny, also known as Tammy Such, was one of WWE's biggest stars in the 1990s. However, her backstage behavior became a major issue. She broke rules, missed shows, and had constant conflicts with management. Her personal issues eventually destroyed her career, and WWE had no choice but to move on. When wrestlers go into business for themselves, everyone loses. Other wrestlers miss opportunities. Fans feel disappointed. Storylines fall apart. Wrestling only works when there is trust, respect, and teamwork. No matter how talented someone is, professionalism matters. In the end, many of the wrestlers discussed today were legends and icons. They changed wrestling in incredible ways. But talent alone is never enough. Professional wrestling is a team effort, and when someone breaks that trust, the damage can last for years. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments which wrestler surprised you the most. Thanks for watching.